we are recording, and take it away, Sam.
All right. So to mute everyone, just if you wanted to, you can click on participants, and then you should see like the mute all button. And I think you can mute, but it looks like everyone's muted. So thank you for having me on your call. I'm excited that there's actually 2 teams on here. I'm going to start off with just sharing a little bit about my story and who I am and why I actually decided to sign up as the coach, and then give you guys some tips just on, tracking, because I think tracking my business has been key to success, I swear, as well as follow-ups and consistency and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to try and mention everything. It might be relatively quickly because I want to give you time to ask questions at the end if you guys have any. So I signed up as a coach in October of 2013. So I'm kind of an older coach, I guess. I've been coaching for 2.5 years. And the reason I signed up to coach was really for the accountability piece. I thought it would be cool to make extra money. My actual goal was to earn $100 a month just to put that towards student loans. And I was like, if I could do that, it'll be worth it. And my actual goal initially was, I was the biggest skeptic of Beachbody. And I basically gave myself an ultimatum. And I said, if I do not break even with my initial investment within 3 months, I'm going to cancel coaching. But I would do everything that my coach told me to within those 3 months. And so I could at least say I gave it all and, it didn't work out for me, or I gave it all and I'm going to give it another 3 months. I didn't ever think of this business as a long-term business. I really just wanted to help people, help myself stick to a plan, because consistency was my enemy. I was not consistent with anything. And so when I signed up, I told my coach, Raina, that I wanted to earn $100 a month and that I wanted to win the free trips. That was right before I joined. She went on a leadership retreat with her coach. And I was like, I need to be on those trips. So how do I earn that? And she basically said, hit Success Club 5 or 10 every single month. And I did that every single month. I hit Success Club. I joined in October. And then in December, we got an email that said, if you hit Success Club 10 every single month of the year, you'll earn an extra $750 towards the Cancun trip. And I was like, okay, that's my new goal, is I'm not only going to earn the trip for free, but I'm going to get an extra $750 to put towards it. And that was my no matter what goal. And that's what I did. And so really with those small goals in mind, I've been able to build a super solid business and income. And 2 years into the business, I ended up quitting my full-time job at General Electric just because that job wasn't my passion anymore. I never hated it. I liked it. It was a solid income. I got to travel abroad for it. So it was a pretty sweet deal. But coaching just showed me that I can actually be passionate about work and make money at it and help people. And so that's why I decided to pursue coaching full-time. So I've been doing it full-time since September, which I absolutely love. And the main difference that, like Kate mentioned, I was 1-star in November. The reason I was 1-star, I will admit to saying, is that I had a diamond on my weak leg, and my fiance is also on my weak leg, and he was also diamond. So I couldn't advance to 2-star until I built someone on the opposite leg. So I jumped from 1-star to 3-star. But I'm still 9-star qualifying now, and the main difference is that I started changing my mindset in the fact that I didn't accept everyone and anyone on my team. And I remember when I was a new coach, I heard top coaches say, be picky, only attract who you really want on your team and only work with the willing. And at the time I was like, when you're a new coach, you have to work with everyone or else you're not going to succeed. And you have to attract everyone or else you're not going to succeed and you're not going to get coaches. So I totally understand if some of you guys are new how that feels, because I totally felt it too. And I think it's fine to feel that way initially, but you do get to a point where you really just want to spend time with the coaches that want to work the business. And that has brought an entirely different level of excitement and passion and interest in running my business, is working with those coaches. So that's honestly why I'm a coach now. I joined for the accountability for my own fitness goals, and to help people and for the income. And now I thrive when my team thrives, and I thrive by like helping my coaches. And three of my coaches now quit their full-time jobs to pursue coaching, and that just like makes me so happy. So that's kind of a little bit more about me and why I started and where I am now. And first, actually, let me see. I want to jump into tracking, because it was when I started tracking my business that everything started to change. And I noticed I signed up my twin sister as a coach maybe like a year and a half ago. Basically, I needed to hit Success Club 10 that month and had no one in my pipeline. And I was like, I'm signing you up, and as a coach. And so she's been a coach for a long time, but she actually started coaching in November, or maybe like end of October of this past year. And when she signed up to coach was when she would message me all the time about people that we were friends with, because we're twin sisters. We went to the same high school, same college, have so many mutual friends. And so she didn't want to like step on my toes. And she was like, have you messaged this person? Are you friends with this person? Did you invite this person? And so with her doing that, I basically I would open up my Messenger account, because I had no real way of tracking it. And I would just type in their name, and I would see where I was at with them. And so many times, you guys, it's like embarrassing to admit this, honestly, but so many times I had sent them a personal message, like a random, hey, I saw we had mutual friends, and that was it. Like, I never followed up with them. And the worst of them all is I had people who said, I'll be ready next month, reach out to me then. And I was like, okay. And I never reached back out to them. And I had people that were like, send me the link. And I never sent them the link. Like, I don't even know how that happened, but it did. And so that was when I was like, I need to get focused and have a plan. Like, I'm not letting anyone else slip through the cracks. And so I created a document, which I'm going to share with you guys. Here we go. Wait. Okay. So here's my document. And now I track a lot more things, because I think there's two key things that we need to track as coaches. One is our new relationships and the new people that we're adding as friends, and the people that we actually need to follow up with. So this is my main batch/follow-up list/relationship tracker is what I call it. So you'll see everything here. Like, my first tab is the bat, which I actually print this out and I fill it out every day just so I can track the numbers. Like, I added 5 new friends, 3 new engagements, 10 conversations, 10 invites. So just because I'm very numbers driven. And if you guys don't fill out the business activity tracker and you're not seeing progress in your business, start here. Start with filling this out, because right away you'll notice, like, I haven't had any challenge pack sales. So I'm going to look at this and, oh, I haven't invited anyone, or I've only followed up with 3 people this week. And one of my coaches, I challenged her to start filling this out. And she said the second that she started filling this out consistently, a few weeks in, she started consistently earning $200 more each week just by tracking this. And it's because it's so apparent where you're struggling. And it's a tough pill to swallow, because if you were to send this to Kate or Addie or your upline coach, you're going to want to say, like, yeah, I added 3 new friends, or yeah, sure, I did this. I'll just put in numbers. But if you're really honest with yourself and say, I'm going to be honest with you guys right now, there were weeks where I sent 0 new invites because my follow-up list was so long that I just prioritized my follow-ups, and they weren't quality follow-ups. And so I was stalling at Success Club in my income, and I looked back at this and I said, okay, I guess I should start inviting more people to the opportunity. So it's really, if you're truthful with this and fill it out, this right here can improve your business alone. And you might notice this is a little bit different than the corporate business activity tracker. I'm like a to-do list person and a planner, and so I needed to separate it out a little bit further, which is why I have these 3 to 5, I think it's 5 or 6 different activities here. So I'm tracking new contacts, engagements, conversations that are not Beachbody related, and then my invites and follow-ups. And again, this is just for my numbers. So I'll write like 3, 5, 10, 2. Then what I do is this is my relationship tracker. This is where I add all of my new contacts to. So, and this is very long because I just don't prioritize relationships as much as my follow-ups at this point. But I don't want anyone to slip through the cracks. So I'm tracking all of my new contacts. From there, I will then move them to my new engagements. And all I mean by engagements is like their posts and comment on their posts. So very simple. And I'll keep them in this column for, like, I want to engage with them probably 3 times before I move them forward, just because I want them to know that I'm interested in what they're posting about. Then from there, I will move them into column C, which is my new non-Beachbody conversations. So this is where I move them from, just watching their stuff to saying, oh my God, that recipe you posted looks so delicious. Or I love the outfit you're wearing in your default photo. Where's your dress from? That's a common one that I send for people that don't post that often. Or, a lot of the people that I'm friending and attracting to me have pets, so I'll comment on their pets or something. And so this is a non-Beachbody conversation. Then once we have a good flow going, I kind of in my head think, would this person be a great coach? Are they ready now? Would they be so amazing at inspiring people already? Or would they be more likely to join a challenge group first? And so I'll move them over into this column. And I actually just redid these 2 columns. I used to track that I actually sent them an invite, but they kind of got lost, which you'll see in a second. So I moved it to just say ready to invite. So I know when I'm doing invites, which I'm now doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays are my new invite days, I'm just going to pull from this list here. And I swear, working from a list is so simple, because when you guys are using the bat and you say, okay, it's time to do 3 to 5 follow-ups, or let's stick with the invite column, 3 to 5 new challenge group invites, you can just work from that list. You don't have to guess, who do I invite today? You're working with the people that you're building that relationship with. So that's my relationship tracker. You'll see other columns here. Reform is when I start a conversation with someone and they just do not respond. And I usually try and send them 3 messages. And sometimes I'll, send them an invite without having a relationship at all. And if they just don't respond, or if they're not ready, or if I just get the feeling like I was maybe being too intrusive with the invite, or like I feel like they would be really great, but I need to work with them, build that trust a little bit more, I'll move them back to reforming, which I did today, and there's no one here, so I need to check on that. But reforming, I think, is something that a lot of people miss, because timing, although there's no perfect time for anything, timing is everything in terms of when you're ready to sign up. And so I think giving people and allowing people that time to be ready, and us being there for them and continuing to build that relationship, is really important. Now from here, once I send an invite, I now use my follow-up list. These tabs are a little bit out of order. But my follow-up list is everyone who I have just invited. So say I invited 5 people today, I will move them to my follow-up list. And there's 2 different categories here, or sections. One is, who am I following up with this week? So today I did 15 follow-ups, and I tried adding more to my follow-up list, and I just didn't get to them. So I'll move them to Wednesday. So tomorrow, this is all of the people that I'm going to be following up with. Every single one. Wednesday, these are all of the people. And what I'll do is, when I'm following up with them, if they don't respond and I think they're still a quality candidate, I'll move them out to later this week. If they don't respond and I don't think they are that quality, which is kind of me to say, but if I don't think that they're going to be that great, or they're not that into it yet, I'll just move them out to the next month, which would be July. If they do respond and they say they're ready to sign up, I'll move them to tomorrow. If they say they're ready to sign up on Friday, I'll move them to Friday. So based on their response is where I will move them to. And lots of times I'll get people that I invite, and they're pregnant. And they're nervous about starting anything new while they're pregnant. And so I will put them under later, so you can see here, Erica is in November. I should be adding more notes. Kate Malkin in October, Heather Evans. I added Heather Evans here. I think it was November of 2015. And she said, I will be ready in January of 2017. And I was like, perfect. That is when I'm going to reach out to you, because I'm not going to forget about her. She would be so good. Her too. It's January of 2017. So you never want to forget about those people. So that's up here. And I do try and put people in red if I feel like they are going to actually purchase. And I will admit that there are some people in red and they say I'm definitely going to order on Friday, and they don't. So I have to move them back to black. And that's, again, if you're a new coach, never believe that someone is going to order until you see it in your online office, basically. You can be optimistic about it, but just be prepared for that. And then, it's kind of hopefully self-intuitive, but down at the bottom I have backup list is everyone who I talk to that I forgot to move out to a different month. And if I need to reach out to someone, I'm going to go to this backup list, which I won't scroll down, but it's insanely long. Later this month are people who were interested, but they said, I'm going to get paid later this month, or I just hit a car bill, check in with me later this month. Anything like that, I just add them here. I actually had this Jackie person here, but she gave me a date. She said on June 23rd, I'll be ready. So I'm going to follow up with her on June 24th. This is my list of other people I still need to follow up with. So even though I have lots of people up here, these are all of the people from previous months that said no, that they would either be ready in June, or I just moved them out to June because they weren't ready in May or in April. And then, like I said, anyone who says no to me now, I just move out to July or August, oh, she actually joined. Or August or later, depending on what their reason is. So that's really how I run my business. I have this file open all day long. And for those of you guys that are very Excel focused and like this type of thing, I also have an app on my phone. I'm just going to check the name of it. It's the Google Sheets app. And so I used to use Excel, but the app was not intuitive whatsoever. I couldn't get it to link to my phone. So now I use the Google Sheets app, so that when I'm, on the T driving or riding downtown in Boston and I add someone on as a friend, I'll open up my relationship tracker and I'll just plunk them at the bottom here. So these 3 people I actually did while I was out, and I just wanted to track that I had friended them. So that's really helpful, just to stay up to date if you're on your phone and your computer. This is, I won't cover this too much. This is I just created this last week to try and better track my Instagram follow-ups. My June group, just so I can see how many people are joining. You'll see here Country Heat. These are people that I think either told me they're interested or I think would be interested. And I'm going to start expanding this list, especially this month and early next month before it's released, just so I don't forget that these people would be interested. And I believe we will go global someday. And there's so many people on Instagram, as you guys probably know, that are from the UK and Australia and all these places that we don't support. And so I don't do the best job, but I try to track people that are not in the US or Canada. And now they're all from Instagram, so I don't even track that anymore, but also where they're from. So the second that Carl Deichler says, hey, coaching is available in Australia, I'm going to look up Melissa Cook and say, hey, we're here now. So it's kind of, again, just building that relationship. This doesn't take my priority at all, but it is nice to fall back on. Okay, so that is my following up. Again, I prioritize that because that's how I stay organized, how I stay focused, and how I never let most people fall through the cracks. So I definitely encourage you guys to find something that works for you. If you like Excel, use that. And I actually, on my training site for my team, I have a copy that you can download and use. So you're more than welcome to use that. Or use pen and paper. Use Asana. use any type of app that is more intuitive for you. Just make it work for you so that you're doing it. Okay, and so I'm really excited to talk about this next. I'm going to talk a little bit about consistency with your business, and I have two different kind of experiences with consistency and why it's so important. One is, first of all, I'm going to throw it out there and say April was the slowest month that I've ever experienced in my 2.5 years. May was a close second. And it was just like, oh, my team struggled. I struggled. I was talking to Raina and she was like, top 10 coaches are struggling. I was talking to corporate and they were like, everyone is struggling. And it's those months where people who still prioritize Success Club, still prioritize building relationships, and still prioritize their business are the leaders. They come out on top. And even if you guys didn't hit Success Club those months, but you continue to invite people and you continue to follow up, that is just as good in my book, because those are the people that will be ready this month and next month. And summer months are usually a hit. And I will say June has been awesome for me. And I think it's because I stayed so consistent in those super, super slow months that now people are ready to join. So that's one thing, is that this is definitely a relationship business, but it is sales, in that we sell stuff, right? And that we have products to sell. And in any sales business, it's so cyclical. Like, there's going to be good months. There's going to be awful months. There's going to be okay months. And I think preparing yourself for that will prepare yourself to be a quality leader. Like, when April came, I was like, April was slow last year too. I didn't expect May to be slow, but I prepared for it. I had somewhat expected it, and I still worked through that. So I think just preparing for slower months, pushing through that, and really knowing why you're a coach and why you want to hit Success Club, or why you want to, achieve whatever success you want to achieve in your business is what will drive you through those tough months. And like I said, this month has been awesome for me, because all those people who said no last month and the month before and the month before that are now saying, okay, it's summertime and I'm ready. They didn't have to try on their bathing suits in April or in May, but now they do. And now, unfortunately, they don't feel comfortable, or they've never been in a pool until this month, or like, there's so many reasons why now all of a sudden people want a quick fix and they want to get fit for the summertime. So utilize that, you guys. Utilize the fact that people want to be fit in the summer. They want to not only be fit, but feel fit and feel confident and feel good in their shorts and in their bathing suit and in sundresses. So use that to your advantage. Also, it's a very busy time as well. If you are attracting moms, their kids are home from school, and so they're a lot busier. People are going on vacations. People are just not focused because they want to be outside and they don't want to work their business. And so the summer months, especially June, is also a time where you'll see that some of your coaches are dropping off. Or if you don't have any coaches on your team yet, other coaches on your team will be dropping off. Suddenly they might not be posting as much. They might not be hosting groups as much. And as sad as that is your time to thrive. That is 1 or 2 or 15 or 55 people that are not promoting Country Heat that will be released on August 1st or whenever the release date is. That is that many fewer coaches that are proving to their followers that they're consistent and that they're in this for the long run. So many coaches join and quit within 3 months or even 1 month. Like, I have a lot of coaches that join, and for 1 month they're posting and they're doing everything and they're going to host a group, and then they're gone. And I feel like our followers expect that. Like, a lot of people do become coaches, and a lot of people are not consistent with it, so they don't see success. So the fact that you guys are prioritizing your business enough that you're on a call on a Monday night to learn more and to build your business is proving to me and to your leaders that you are in this for the long run. So being consistent to your followers is going to just build your credibility and build the trust that you may or may not have yet with your followers. But even you posting will build that trust, the unknown trust. You don't know they're watching you, but they are. So be consistent, be that person that sticks through these tough months. If you're a mom and you have your kids home or you're on vacation, prioritize your business at least for an hour a day, and you will be the ones to come out and be the leaders on top. And then the other thing regarding consistency and follow-ups is somebody had asked me, one of my success partners asked me, how did I achieve Success Club 16? Because that's where I'm at right now in my business. And so I was like, let me go check. And so I clicked on, I don't know if you guys know, but in your online office, you can click on a little plus sign next to the number of points, and it tells you who your points are from. And I have 16 points. That means 8 people have signed up because I always do challenge packs. And 1 is a client, 7 are coaches. And so I went through everyone, and I not only went through but to see who they were, but I also went through our conversations to see when did I actually friend this person, when did I invite them, and when did I follow up. And I noticed that one person was a new person that I invited this month. It was honestly the easiest thing ever. Like, this has never happened to me. She liked one of my posts in my free group, and I said, hey, I saw that you liked my post. Are you interested in joining or learning more information about the group? And she said, yes. Basically, that same day, I got her signed up as a discount coach. So that was like pretty awesome. Again, that's happened like twice in 2.5 years. But so that was 1. The other 7 have been on my follow-up list for 1 year or longer. One of them has been on my list. I remember talking to her for so long, so I was like, when did I actually friend this person? I told you guys I joined in October of 2013. Wow. And I friended her in November of 2013 and sent her an invite then. And she had said no. I followed up multiple times, many, many, many times. I invited her to coaching many times, but every follow-up I had wasn't always like, are you ready to join? Are you ready to join? I mixed it in with, oh, I saw you posted a photo of your baby, or like, I noticed that you were doing a fitness challenge at work or whatever. I was working in that relationship as well. So 2 years later, she finally was ready to join as a coach, and now she's working the business. Everyone else was 1 year or longer. And so that, my point in telling you guys that is, like I said, the timing is everything. There's never a perfect time for anyone to join. So don't wait, and I hope that your clients aren't waiting for the perfect time. But timing is everything. It needs to be the right time for them to feel comfortable, confident enough, they believe in themselves enough with your guys' encouragement to join. And so never, ever, ever let anyone fall off of your follow-up tracker, even if they say no. Like, all of those people, mind you, all 7 people told me no multiple times. I mean, imagine, they were on my list for 1 to 2 years. They had to tell me no, and I just kept them on my list, and they eventually were ready. So if you guys are new and you don't have that follow-up list yet, I will say you need to invite people to build that list. I say your goal should be to have a massive follow-up list. The fortune really is in the follow-up, and that's how I hit Success Club every month, is having that quality list of people who at one point were interested, or, for whatever reason, I'm following up with them. So your goal is to have a massive follow-up list. If you don't, A, start tracking your business, because I'm sure you guys have way more follow-ups than you think that you do. And B, invite more people. You're not going to, the first day you sign up, you have 0 follow-ups because you haven't invited anyone at all. So in the beginning months, I'll say like the first 6 months to a year, it's definitely a lot more invites. Now I can back off a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit on my invites, because I'm following up more so than inviting new people. And that's just kind of my strategy going into my business, is people aren't ready to join when I invite them. In fact, when I invite someone, I don't expect them to join that same month. I expect them to join the next month, and I prepare myself for that. And it's easier when you have that follow-up list, and especially when you track it and okay, she might be ready in June, or she might be ready in July. So I think that's it. I feel like I talked a lot, but I think a lot of, when it boils down to it, tracking and following up are the 2 things that has helped my business stay consistent and has helped me build this for the long term. Without those 2 things, I would not be where I am today in my business, because I would have let a lot of things fall through, and I wouldn't be as organized, and I wouldn't know what to do or who to reach out to and when to do it. So organization really is key. And then I guess the last tip I'll give you guys, just to touch on how I got from 1-star in November to 9-star qualifying now, is really focus on your avatar. If you guys haven't done that training, I'm sure Kate has some sort of training for that. So do the avatar training and really focus every post on attracting and connecting with who you want to be on your team or who you want to be in your challenge groups. And the best tip I can give to do that was a video that I watched. It was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And I think it was a recap from the Eric Worre training. And he says, so many people, and you'll see it too, you go to their pages and they say, what have they done and why do they love it? So, hey guys, I started a new fitness program and I fit in my bikini today and feeling awesome. I'm loving this feeling. And people will be so supportive of that. But if you were to start off with your struggle, how you felt when you were struggling, then what you did about it, and then how you feel, you'll create such a stronger and bigger connection. So with that same example, 2 years ago when I got in my bathing suit, I felt so uncomfortable being compared to my best friend or to my sister, or I just felt gross in my own skin. I felt unconfident, and it really made me despise my body and feel bad about myself. But now I've prioritized my fitness and I tried on my bikini and I feel amazing, blah, blah, blah. And sharing that struggle and how you felt is also relating to those people who feel that same way now. People are trying on their bikinis, and I'm only saying that because it's June, but people are, are feeling something that you felt when you started. And so if you share that struggle and how you felt and then what you did about it and why you love it now, you're going to create such a bigger connection and relationship with people to get them to message you and to get them to trust you before you even have to send an invite or a message to them. So be vulnerable, know who you want to attract, and be open to sharing your journey and breadcrumbing it throughout all of your posts and even throughout your team. Never stop breadcrumbing and never stop pouring into your team what you learn. If you've learned anything tonight, go to your own personal pages and share that with your team and get them to replicate it.
I loved it.
I feel like I could talk more, but I know we have 4 minutes left.
We have about 4.5 minutes left on the call because I'm a cheapskate and I have the free version of Zoom. So if you want to unmute yourself and ask Sam any questions, go for it.
I have a question.
Go for it.
How did you know it was going to be me? Okay, so Samantha, you used, I know I had a copy of your spreadsheet. I don't know if it's in the Lux group or what, but so I would love that. But is that all you use for tracking, or do you use Asana at all?
I don't use Asana.
Okay. You just move them from column to column.
Yeah.
And then I saw I know you talked about the red, and I saw some highlighted in yellow. So you've got a color system going.
It's not really a system. I want a color system. So red to me means that they are a quality candidate that is likely to purchase a challenge pack.
Right.
But I do that just so that, because my follow-up list gets pretty long. So if someone says I'm going to be ready in July, and I really believe that they will be ready, I'll put them in red just so that I can invite them in July 1st.
So that was going to be my next question. So when you're ready to fill out your activity tracker and then you go to your list, do you just work from top to bottom, or you hit the red ones first and then, top to bottom, or is there, because that's where I'm trying to figure out how to make Asana work for me, but that's where I open up my list, and if I go by due date, it's all over the place. Whereas if I go by what's just random, then I kind of scroll through and pick out who I know. But it's not working. I feel like I'm still losing people and I can't get caught up that way. So that's, I would like to try to do both, but I didn't know if you've got a system for how you work from those lists.
I prioritize the people that I put in red, and then I literally just work from top to bottom. But I will say this, since I've reached out to people this month that were from a year and two ago, I was realizing that a lot of the people that from copying and pasting weren't necessarily quality follow-ups. There were someone I invited and they never responded. So I was like, do I invite again, you know? And so I actually reached out to the people for my backup list that I remember at one point we had a quality conversation, and at one point they were interested, and that's actually who's joining. So I definitely prioritize your people in whatever way. I would say if you think that they're actually going to join, prioritize them, and then, you know, go based on your memory and what you remember them saying.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I'm the only one? Come on.
I just think it'd be really cool for you to share in the last minute and a half. What's been your favorite Beachbody trip you've been on? Because I'm a trip girl. I like to go and I like to, you know, do that kind of stuff. And I know you've had a lot of opportunities in the last, you know, couple of years to really get out there and favorite.
So I've never been to Summit, so I can't say that. I feel like that's going to be my favorite when I go this year. But my favorite was my very first trip, which was in Cancun, because like everything was just, it was on an all-inclusive resort, so everything was free. We were at check-in and they were serving drinks and they had this bar, and it was just like everything was catered to you. So like it was really nice to be so incredibly spoiled. And that was the trip that I was like, oh my God, all of these people here are living such free lives, and like so many of them coach full-time. And that was when I decided I wanted to coach full-time. And 6 months later, I was able to do that. So it was really just like eye-opening on like what's possible in this business if you keep working hard.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm going to cry.
Well, thank you so much for getting on this call and sharing your tips with us. And I think I know where your tracker sheet is, so I will get that for my team, and we'll be good to go. So,
all right. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.